Unfortunately for them, their DJ neighbour, Matt Burgess, couldn't sleep.
My night, Jarrod Walsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages.
Oh, mate.
Jarrod, I love him. He's a great guy.
And world tennis number 3, Andy Martins, had to, Andy Murray even.
Yes. Thanks to Con and Lena at the Brighton Trophy Centre, the Odd Sock Mob, Shifty Lizard Brewing, and Mind in Movement Physio, Steve the Pirate. Welcome to Best Team Men.
How's
Andy?
that list of clients now available to the best team men?
It's huge, isn't it?
Yes. Well, sponsors. I forget which one they are.
It's very good, boys, and it's a big round. Andy, Maddie and I coincidentally just ran into a couple of the sponsors earlier this week. So I
literally ran into them.
I was driving.
walking.
Yeah, he was walking.
I don't run very
I was
often.
in Marion or going to Marion, and we were just turning onto Sturt Street?
Sturt Road.
Yeah, Sturt Road, yeah. And I said to my missus, hold on a second. And I looked around, like, there's Brighton Trophy Centre. I said, I'm going to go in and say hello to Con.
Yeah, because you're a port man. You rarely go that far down south.
Rarely go,
right?
yeah. So that was amazing. I got to meet Con and Lena, and yeah, they are amazing people. And Con, like, it was such an amazing experience just to meet them. And Con sent through the CCTV of how we met and us hugging. Like it's basically you see one of those things on your news about, a tall bald man who works at Brighton Trophy Centre was assaulted by a man, but that was actually a hug.
Well, can we actually put that video up on Facebook and
we can.
Instagram and
I
Twitter?
think we've got Instagram now.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
What we need to do as well is that you need to do like a commentary version of that video explaining what was going through and what you said, because we can't see, or we can only see, we can't hear. It'd be amazing.
It was really good. And then yesterday I ran into Maddie because Maddie was down in my neck of the woods, and you coincidentally saw one of our sponsors as well.
Yeah, we stopped in at Peak Performance Gym where Jarrod trains, and that's also where Mind and Movement, Steve the Pirate, has his physio set up. So we stopped in there and took a selfie out the front with the sign, and I didn't get to meet Steve, but that'll come.
He's an elusive character.
He's got a great beard.
Great beard.
Oh, so he's actually bearded.
Yeah, he's bearded, yeah.
Is that why they call him Steve the Pirate? Or is that just something they tricked you into?
I think that's a trick, yeah. I think it's a guy on a character on Dodgeball, the movie.
It is, yeah. Now, Jarrod, do you want to run us through what actually happened after we went to Mind and Movement?
Yeah, so Maddie's gone to have a look at Peak, which is the gym that I train at. And you've met Sean Baker before.
I've seen the basketball ring you play at. That's how close I've been.
The whole facility and the whole setup's awesome, and Sean's supportive of the podcast, as is Steve the Pirate. And so I'm a bit OCD, so every time I leave the gym, I started off by going, I can't leave until I make a free throw. And I'm like, okay, it took a while. Then I can't leave until I make a 3-pointer. And one day it took me an hour. And then yesterday I'm like to Maddie, you can't leave until you make a 3-pointer. I can't leave until I get one off the wall. Maddie's like wearing what looked like going out shoes in his work get up. No worries, mate. And he's gone to the 3-point line with like a real honking kind of basketball shooting style. Like it looked like he's kind of had a fit and he's just let go of the ball. Shut up! And it's gone off the backboard and in on his
First one.
Really?
You know those, you see them pop up on Facebook and stuff like that where they pull someone out of the crowd to throw from halfway to win a car?
That's him.
And they've got the worst ever action. That was me, and I nailed it, but I didn't win a car. So.
Matty looked like he was trying not to throw the ball. So then
got it in.
We've gone, okay, we'll have a coffee, and we went to my local cafe, which is Mr. Pilgrim. It's on Semaphore Road opposite the Odeon. I love it. Paul and Nadia are the owners there, and Matt and I pull up.
Is that near Skara?
It's down the road.
Oh, it's down the road.
Skara? Skara's the Greek food. Con. Con.
Yeah, the greatest Greek food I've ever.
Incredible.
We go there once a month because it's such a long drive for us.
That's Foodland, isn't it?
It's down, yes.
Where the car park. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was like an old theatre that they then turned into the place.
Yeah. That place used to sell Golden North giant twins because of probably the theatre being
That's
there.
right.
Yes. So to answer your question, yes, Yassel there.
Hey, anyway.
Yeah, so Mr. Pilgrim is just down from that Greek place, and Maddie's like, follow me. And I said, no, you follow me, mate, because I'm the local here. So we got there.
It's a true story.
And it was
we got there and we had no idea that the fucking Tour de France was going through semaphore.
It's like a stage of the Tour de France just
There was
outside.
60 bikes.
Yeah. I've emceed an event there where they've actually done a race.
Yeah, well, this wasn't a race.
No,
this
it was
was
just
about
social riders.
60 middle to older age gentlemen wearing high vis like they're all COVID marshals and helmets with the pipe cleaners to scare off the magpies, and they're having their coffee. And Maddie and I are like, we're just dressed like normal people and we feel like weird.
Well, that's interesting because is Mr. Pilgrim a cyclist cafe?
Never seen a cyclist there in my life until yesterday. And I think it's got to do with the times that you go to certain things. You know, if you go to the gym at a certain time, you see different people there.
Yeah.
If you go to swim, you see different people there.
Yeah.
When you beat China that one time, or Japan. Yeah. So,
One of them.
Asia. Let's just do that, shall we? All right.
I had another coffee story. So on my way in here today, Jarrod sent me a text saying, "Can you grab me an oatmeal flat white or whatever it was? Was it flat white?
Oat milk, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oat milk.
I drink oat milk now.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, It's better than almond milk.
I haven't had either. So
I've been a fiend on almond milk for ages, right?
Yeah.
And then Yaz, my future wife, who you'll meet on the weekend, for
What's
the
this
first time,
weekend?
probably.
What are we doing this weekend?
We're going to Port Pirates, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, right.
I thought it was next weekend.
Is it this weekend? I thought it was this weekend.
No,
thought it was
it's been a
the
busy
third.
couple
Well,
of
we'll
days.
just roll up to your house anyway. G'day, guys. Yaz is here.
And Yaz is on the 8th week of her birthday celebration.
And what a 2 months they have been. Can you guys donate on the way out, please? Just the money that I've spent. Anyway, she has a knack for talking to anyone, especially when it comes to business owners.
Yeah, because she's lovely.
Yeah, and she's one of those outgoing people. So she was talking to a barista one day, the guy that owned the cafe, and he goes, "Nah, you guys should really check out oat milk.
Yeah.
It's similar to milk, doesn't have that crazy sort of bit of twang going on that the almond milk does.
Yeah.
But oat milk's the way.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't
I've
make
drunk
you
it
get
since.
the runs as well. Like normal milk, I'm getting the runs now.
Just imagine me with almond milk, normal milk, and pear cider. Imagine that little combination right there.
Oh, yeah,
Anyway,
you
so
need
you
a whole
guys are
new
down
toilet.
there.
Yeah, so you gotta come
So Jarrod texted me and said, "Can you grab me an oat milk flat white?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, no worries."
I feel like we do rounds, like each
Yeah,
week
we
one
do.
of us, whatever. But you got cupcakes today as well. That's great.
so-
you can eat yours, Andy.
Yeah, I
But
don't want
not
to get...
on the microphone because that's disgusting. Sorry,
Oh,
mate.
no,
So
sticky
you got a
finger
coffee.
days. So I
Anyway,
got-
welcome to Best Team, man.
Yeah, I got you a coffee, and I was holding my phone in my left hand, and when he passed me the cupcakes and then also your coffee, I decided to put your coffee on my phone.
Yeah, okay.
And when I did that, I activated Siri, and as soon as I did that, the guy said to me as I walked out the door, "Cheers, bud," and then Siri goes, "You are welcome."
That's awesome.
And he just looked at me like, what just happened there? So that was a little bit of a
Now
laugh
he
on the
thinks
way
you're a
up.
robot.
He does, yeah, absolutely. Hello, can I please have a coffee?
He's like, no one's got those broad shoulders. That's definitely a robot.
Kiss me, Maddie.
Speaking of kissing,
Yes.
Oh, God.
some emotional stuff happened.
I'm so glad you said that. No, because there's something that I didn't bring up a couple of rounds ago.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I've been made redundant. Okay, we'll get to that in a second if you're listening out for that. But something that I admire about Andy Martin, and I have ever since he's been, was working with me at the radio station. Andy is the segue master. I actually wrote this in my phone, and this is what, no matter the situation on radio, and as you can see just then, Andy tries to link everything up, like to segue everything, all right? So here's an example. We're just sitting at Best Team, and Matty, you've got a pad in your hand. Speaking of pad, I'm going to pad my way to this next segment, and Jarrod was made redundant. And it's just like off the back of songs, it would go, well, just give me a song title.
WAP.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So Andy's coming off the back of Cardi B's WAP. There is WAP on your favourite radio station or on Best Team, man. And you know what? Speaking of WAP, my girlfriend's on the phone. Hello, back. You pride yourself on that.
I think it's come from like emceeing, and when you do events and you have either been given too many scripts or not enough scripts, you need to fill a void to get onto the next thing you need to talk about, or you're announcing live. I remember I did the Christmas pageant one year down at Glenelg, and they go, okay, now talk about the fire engine, and so you just naturally rattle off some stuff.
Exactly.
And they're like,
Hooper
okay.
there?
Dr. Barry Hooper was
Yeah,
there.
he was there. With this fucking parrot on his shoulder.
Steve the Pirate.
But yeah, like the natural sort of like trying to segue things together. But with the whole Nova stuff, I was forcing those, like, they were pretty big stretches. I remember you text me one day, I nearly crashed my car when I heard that because I was laughing so hard at that segue.
We were supposed to do like 15-second breaks, and Andy would go into a 2-minute monologue just so he could connect his segue.
Yeah. So anyway, I was at church, the nightclub, listening to Tiesto. Tiesto is there, actually. And coming up very shortly, Freddie Wapp, or whatever the fuck his name is. And he once went to church.
Yeah.
So here he is.
that
George
would be
Ezra,
it.
take me to church, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that.
So anyway, speaking of kissing, as you said,
I love it. Hey, you guys looked at me going, where is he going?
Yeah, I have no idea. Nah, but that's what we love about this podcast. So it has been a pretty eventful couple of days. So I've said to you guys as well, and if you've been listening to the podcast over the past few rounds, you would know that I would be saying I've been going through 54,000 emails.
Yeah.
So I can officially say I have completed transferring my 54,000 emails, and I have closed my computer and handed it back in.
What was the last email that you transferred? Do you remember?
Probably to you. Saying, hey mate, here's some audio for today.
Fair enough.
Literally the last email I sent was today at around 1 o'clock, because I were having a staff meeting at Nova, the radio station, and 5AA, explaining that I've been made redundant. So, I put a video out on socials, on my social media, and I didn't expect it to kind of take the journey that it has. But I'm so glad that today is our podcast day, because I want to share it with you guys. And yesterday when I did my video, I had full control of it. So I didn't edit it like we do in this podcast, apart from earlier when we edited something that I said we should. We were just speaking. Don't forget that, Andy. Yeah. But that's what I like doing, and I think it's a risky thing, putting yourself out there, but I feel I'm courageous enough to do it. So I don't care what you guys ask me. I'll answer it in the best way that I can, but there'll be people listening to this that will be expecting me to say negative things about my bosses or the company, but I can't do that. And it's not a matter of me not being able to, it's just I won't do it, because I've had such an amazing 16 years at the one place where I was part of the start of the company. And I'm not going to let one shitty moment define 16 years. So if you are listening to this podcast to hear me bag my former employer, go to a different podcast, because it's not going to happen, because I had so many great memories there. So, boys, as I said at the start, you can ask anything you like, and I see Andy smiling.
All right. You ready? So I can't say names, right?
No, you can't say names, but you can ask anything about the process. You can ask anything about how I found out, where I was. I'm happy to share all of that.
Well, first of all, like the video you did was so important to not just for you and the grief process of going through something so traumatic that you did when you found out about losing your job, and also the unknown that comes out of this, right?
Yeah.
That video was spectacular, the way you worded it.
Yeah.
And especially the line that stuck with me was about you're not judged about, what you did throughout your workplace, but or at the start, but when you were happy and when you're a great guy, but the way that you end. And the words that you use at the end. And the great thing is, like, I know there's many emotions probably going through your body, including, sadness, anger,
gas,
a bit of gas. And I'm sure we'll come across that very shortly.
I think you got it all out before we started.
Yeah, I can't breathe. I don't know about you boys. And why are the curtains now stained? Anyway, it was such a brilliant video, and it encapsulated everything I would feel if I was going through that process. But it also just gives you and your brand a big sort of kick forward into the big wide world that I know. Like I said in your text, I said, like Monday, you're going to wake up amazing because you've had a few days to think about it. I think I should have said Monday in a few weeks because it's going to take a little bit.
Monday, I woke up to a message from someone in the business going, mate, can we chat about how this is going to play out? I'm like, hold on, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I want to spend the day with my family. Like,
see, that's the stuff that I'm glad you're never going to have to go through again.
Can you please pass me the facial tissues?
As opposed to the other kind of tissues.
Yeah,
and I need a tissue as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the stained sheet tissues. You know, like
it's so weird. They're called facial tissues.
Yeah, I guess they were trying to get around some sort of trademark. But anyway, I really appreciate what you did with that video. I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know what you were going to do. Because some people go quiet, some people go out loud, some people go out inappropriate. But I'm glad you did what you did.
So I found out on. Yeah,
take us back because you didn't just find out on the day. Right?
I'll take you to the
take
timeline.
Us to the very start of.
All right, let me take you to the timeline of
1986
the video, and I'll take you to the point of where I released the video. And if I cry, I don't care because I'm a bit teary at the moment.
Go back a bit further so someone can.
My mum met my dad.
Yep,
and they
what? They had a coffee. I'm talking about take it back from when you guys all found out there was going to be a process happening.
So from the start of the year, as soon as COVID hit, I was really complimentary and still am of the way that our company handled everything, because all other media companies made redundancies and stood people down straight away. But Nova Entertainment, and I remember saying this to you, Matty, when we were recording from home. Yeah. And this is before you had joined, Andy. Yep. Nova said, if you had any outstanding annual leave, we want to get your leave balance down. And I had, I think, in true best team men style, I was third in the company.
Yeah, you literally had months and months of annual leave.
I did. And that's something which I still tried to take, but I just couldn't because I was looking after things at the station. So from April, I was on 3 weeks permanent leave, or and like full days leave. And then the 5AA sports show, which I joined this year, they were starting to be affected by it because we had such a good chemistry. Taking me out of the show was a kind of backward step. And I, alongside the boss of 5AA, Craig Munn, said, mate, I'd like to come back and help out the show and still be part of it. So we came to an agreement where I could do half days, and he didn't force me to do that. He said, mate, your leave is your leave. And even right up until 2 days ago, he said one of his beliefs is you take your annual leave when you want, you've earned it. You shouldn't have to find a certain time to take it. You just take it.
Yeah.
And that continued on until I came back to Nova and 5AA for a few weeks, but then I was informed that the leave was put in incorrectly, not by me, in a spreadsheet. So I still had lots more leave. So I had to go back on half days. And there was one day on a Tuesday I went in and our CEO did what they call the town hall, and they do, it's an all staff kind of video, and they said this is going to happen. And then someone asked, are there going to be more redundancies? And I don't think she was quite prepared at that point, but she said, I'm going to answer it, which is great. And she said there'll be 70 people made redundant or impacted over the next 5 weeks.
Across the country.
Yep. Yeah. So every day I was in the shower, and the steam came up on the shower.
Sure did.
I'm going to need some more of that.
It went up there and it just trickled down.
And I think I've never... I think you go through a process of becoming the general manager or the CEO in your head, and you start going, okay, so this person go, this person, this person, this person. And I started calculating it and going, okay, so if there's 70, which is like 12% of the company, so in Adelaide, there's like a staff of 60, that's going to be like 8 or 9 Nova, maybe a couple 5AA, I might be safe. And I was trying to convince myself every day. So over that 5 week period, week 1 went, we lost someone, which is really sad. But you have a selfish moment of going, okay. Week 2 goes, 2 people go. And you go, oh, fuck, I didn't expect this person to go. Yeah. Shit, no one's safe. Week 3, week 4, and then they say on the meeting, okay, this department is next week. And you're like, okay. So I was always of the belief that they were going to keep one person in Adelaide at Nova, which is myself or Rosie. Because I think it's logic. Like, you need someone to press the buttons. If you look at this year, like, the station shuts down, there's bushfires, there's everything. You need someone to actually do that.
Well, that's what happened last time when I was still there, is that they made someone redundant in the afternoons, but they didn't realise they needed someone to press the button for Kate, Tim and Marty at 4 o'clock, and no one was there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I questioned that at that time as well, and got into trouble for questioning it. And I then was at the footy last week when the Crows played Hawthorn, and I was sitting at the footy because we were doing an outside broadcast for the 5AA Sports Show, and an email came through saying, can the afternoons announcers all catch up? And then Rosie messaged me and said, did you just get the email of death? And I'm like, yep. So I said, it's very easy to say this, but to actually do it's difficult. So I'm like, let's just wait and see what happens tomorrow. And my thought instantly was, okay, so they might try multi-market, which is what they've done before. So multi-market is you have one person in a centralised place that does 2 different shows. Like that Greg Burns we spoke about a few months ago, he was doing 4 markets at once, which is difficult. I've done 3 markets before, and it's full on, mate, because you've got to watch the radio station move. You've got to know the city. You've got to even something. I know this may sound silly, but something so unique of if you're doing Melbourne and Adelaide, in one city you say dance, in another city you say dance. You want to sound like one of them.
Not to mention the time delays, the time differences.
And you're relying on the technology as well. Like you're relying on the technology to work. So it's not flawless, and it never will be. So we had our meeting, and at that point then I was convinced that it was going to be one person staying in every market. And I thought, that's fine. Like, it is what it is. Part of me thought my role might be okay because I was also working at 5AA, but Nova was responsible for my role at 5AA this year. So they had control of my destiny. And then it got to Thursday of last week, and I was on the air. We were just about to do a segment called Where Are They Now on 5AA. And I'm kind of grateful that it happened then as well, because I don't really talk during that segment. And the email came through that says, can you please have a meeting tomorrow that may affect to discuss company changes that may affect your employment. You can bring a support person. And the support person line for me is the telltale. And you're like, cool, I'm done. And I don't think like that was my first moment of just like, oh, fuck. And I obviously had to keep the show going on the air until 6 o'clock.
Yeah. How hard was that? Like that was...
it's pretty tough. I've been through worse. I've been, I was on the air the day that Dylan and Hayley were told that I'm going to be joining their show. And I watched that conversation happen in the studio next to me.
Right.
So it's, like I feel like I've built up enough of those experiences to just get on with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you have to do.
How many times in the lead up? So the last say 2 weeks before that moment when you're on air and you get that email, how many times had you gone backwards and forwards in? I'm safe. Nah, I'm going here. Nah, I'm safe. Oh, hang on, I'm in
every
trouble.
day.
Yeah.
And there was an element of relief going. At least I know.
Yeah.
Because it's not just this last 5 weeks. It's every year in the media that you go, am I going to have a job next year? Before I continue, I want to really stress that I'm like a bloody teardrop in the ocean of people that have been affected this year. And that's not just my industry. It's people who have used their life savings to start a cafe and they can't because of COVID. So by no means am I saying poor me, because it's not poor me. I'm just sound flat because I'm fucking flat. I've been shattered.
But this is relevant to your circumstance, so you have every right to be the way you are.
Absolutely. You've got this medium to not just help yourself, but other people.
Yeah. But I want. It's important that people know that I understand that everybody's affected this year. So I got to Friday, and the meeting was scheduled for 4 o'clock, and I had to get back and go, hey guys, kind of on air then, so you have to tell the 5AA program director that,
not available.
No. So on the Friday, I did yoga at 8 o'clock in the morning, and which was great. Like my wife and I have started like doing that as a routine, and it really got my mind right. And then I can't remember. I can't actually remember what else we did on that Friday because
I wouldn't expect you to be honest.
A bit of a whirlwind.
After things like, some pretty hardcore stuff that happens to you, your brain sort of forgets, black out.
Absolutely.
But
I was prepared though. Like,
well, when you got that email, what was the first thing you did? Like, who did you contact?
I messaged
Gabs
my
first?
wife. Yeah, I messaged my wife, Gabs, and just said, "Hey, this is a reality now."
Yep.
And
because you guys obviously would have had discussions and gone, okay, this is worst case scenario, this is best case scenario.
We've had a lot of worst case scenario discussions in my time at Nova, and they've not eventuated.
Yeah.
So I think there's an element of Jarrod is I'm a catastrophic thinker. So I always think about the worst case scenario. Like with hockey, we won every game in a season. I convinced myself we were going to lose the grand final because it prepares me mentally for it.
Yeah.
So I was more scared that Gabs was going to start freaking out. And she's pregnant, and But what I wanted to make sure I did was when the meeting happened, I wanted to control my emotions and literally control that meeting, because I always let my emotions get the better of me. And then I go away and reflect, and I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, sorry about that. Like, I'm not rude or disrespectful to anybody. I've had a general manager say to me once before, mate, you were very formal in this meeting, while he said about 26 fucks. And I'm like, you're the general manager, mate. I'm respecting you here. Like, I'm listening to everything that you're saying. So once the meeting happened, it was, like I said in the video, it happened. And I was fine on that day, actually. I was really, really proud of how I handled myself, because since I worked on Breakfast last year, where I truly believe I wasn't valued at all. That really hurt. And
from the company or by the company?
The company were supportive of me.
Yep.
I think the company's been pretty cloudy with things for a number of years, and things like that have happened to a few people where they've kind of been not messed around, but like underappreciated.
Yeah.
Well, I can only speak on my experience, and I felt undervalued because I don't think I valued myself.
Right.
So I needed to learn about value, and it was interesting because the current general manager who's been promoted this week, Peter Colosimo, was amazing with me, and he recommended I read a book, and I tried to call him today. He probably thinks I'm going to give him a rocket, but I wasn't. I was going to thank him because he made me read that book, The Courage to Be Disliked. And it was amazing because it connected me to my counsellor who passed away a couple of years ago. And it taught me about value and learning that I can only control how I treat others, how I operate, and how I handle myself, and how I show like empathy and love. And that meeting was me saying we had a criteria of what we needed to do to get the job, basically, and I was showing the criteria in which that I fell short. And I make what you want of it. I just said, I don't need this criteria to justify my worth. I know exactly my value, and I'm really proud. And I ended the call, and my wife wrote on a piece of paper, mic drop. And, but I think I wanted to make sure that I was respectful to my boss and the HR person, because that's what I have for people. I have respect for people. And as much as I said it in the meeting, as much as it's a difficult decision to tell someone they're redundant, hearing it's actually worse. So it's a time to be really sensitive and go, this is your moment here.
It's impressive because 99% of people, and that's including me, in those sort of circumstances wouldn't have been controlled. They wouldn't have had those thoughts and those words come out of their mouth. Like, you handled it very well. And I think people need to learn from that.
Yeah. So then the weekend was the weekend was a blur as well. I had a lot of adrenaline after that because I'm like, cool, it's done. I was proud of how I earned it. I went to the gym on Saturday and had an amazing session because I think like I had such adrenaline I needed to get out.
So much energy built up.
Yeah. But then Sunday it just hit me, and Father's Day, and I couldn't eat. And yesterday I was at the cafe with you and my hands were shaking.
Yeah.
I couldn't control it. And yesterday was it was yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah. Yep. So Tuesday was my follow-up meeting, and just before the follow-up meeting, I wanted to sit down, and I was in bed and just crying, and I felt like that's what I needed to do. And so I had the follow-up meeting, but just before that I sat down and just pressed record. It was important that I thanked a couple of people who I did in the video. It was important that I thanked the company because, like I said to you guys, I'm not going to let a moment define what's been an amazing journey. And there may be a day that I work again at the company. I don't even know if I want to do radio anymore.
Yeah.
But when so I put it up, but being myself, and I broke down when I said I didn't get the chance to say farewell. And I broke down talking about my family because, mate, my wife has been through everything with me for this journey. I took my wife to Melbourne in 2008 to do Drive. We booked a wedding venue. 11 months later, they moved us back here, and it was nuts. And unfortunately, the shit thing is, like, when people say it's the business, it is the business in some ways. But just because it's the business, it doesn't mean that you can't have empathy and handle the situations better. And yeah, I didn't expect the response that I got, and I'm really happy. But I wanted to use that opportunity to thank people because and you've been at these meetings, Andy, where when we have ratings or anything, I'd stand up and I thank everyone else because, mate, as a Casanova, as a street team person, you're the sorry.
Which end was that, guys? If you want to let us know, hit us up on 0410 337.
That's a new game.
Yeah. Which end did that come from?
We'll play that in next episode.
It's just called, I got. Please welcome Jarrod's End. There we go. That's
or we could call it the end of Jarrod.
Okay, that's we're going to that one in this episode. Yes, sir.
Like, as a Casanova, you're sometimes seen as like the bottom rung of the radio station, but you're the face of the radio station. And so for me, my whole time of being there, I've been grateful to everybody who's impacted me because everybody plays a role. Like, if you think about it, we're talking into a microphone now and it's coming out of people's speakers. All the hard work's done before we get here and talk. Like, and that's not taking away the good conversations that we have and stuff. But, so yeah, I was grateful. And then, you know what the funny thing was that, so I say I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, but I had this feeling that I knew. So my last day of Nova, the last ever talk break, I just needed to get something in just in case, and I've got it here. In that 50K, I recommend you go listen to their podcast, and of course, keep it on Nova. Thanks for having me, Adelaide. Chrissy, Sandra, Brownie, and
Turning up the feel good.
Is that it?
That's it.
Thanks
for having me, Adelaide. So I said that about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and yeah, so the messages of support and have been lovely, and they've been. I've got a lot of time now to get back to everybody individually, and I will. 2 things before you can go hard with questions as well, if you got any more. The thing that made me cry was this is so stupid. I cried at the gym today when I got a direct message from Graham Corn sending something nice.
Question. Was the cry happy or sad?
You know what? It was just nice. Like,
Well, yeah.
I never ask for praise, and Graham Corn's like, he rang me up once and abused me.
I like how he mentioned that in the text.
You know what?
that I never saw.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. People don't need to reach out, and he did. And I'm like, I used to listen to Graham Corn's growing up all the time, but what really fucking gets me, emotional is that when people get in touch and they say, you know, like Archie, this guy's name is, who works in regional radio, said, mate, you were the only person who got back to me when I sent you a demo. And people saying, I got a tweet from Cam Luke, who works now on Channel 7 with Adam Cooney and used to work at Crop Media, and he said, mate, the day I got made redundant, you messaged me. I'd never met you before, and you said, I'm reaching out. Like, these people that like see me as a good person, I don't want to be seen as a someone who's good at their job. I'd rather be seen as a good person who I'm okay at what I do, but that doesn't define me. So those messages really are touching. And
because at the end of the day, you know, you can be the best at whatever, but if you're a shit human being, people are going to remember you for being that. And you know, you can only do your job for so long, but you can be a good human for the remainder of your life. So
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do always. So it's a really difficult balance to have such a strong belief, and I'm still learning about having a strong value system in myself, but then going, wait, if I'm feeling so valued, why am I not being valued?
Well, I guess the hardest thing about the journey you've gone through in working in the media, a lot of the time you're being told what to do and how to feel.
Yeah.
And now that you're having to almost be, you've pretty much been put into the real world with no rules and no guidance, you have to fend for yourself.
Yeah, but I think like that's exciting in a way, and this is why
that's how I said. That's why I said to you, I was like, "This is going to be the best time of your life."
Yeah, this is why I love doing this podcast so much, and even my wife said it's the most me she's heard, because there's working in radio, you have to have rules and regulations and stuff, but I wasn't being myself, because I was told to, as you should be in some ways, like say the station tagline, talking to the song, keep it short. No, that was too long. Like every time you were on the air, you'd wait for your phone to go off and go, why did you do that? And it's like, that's
no way to live.
The anxiety.
Well, I was going to say the anxiety that'll leave your body, and the weight that once you are sort of not back to your normal self, but like you work forward from what's happened here, you'll realize that this really is the best time in your life, because you'll see your family. You won't have the anxiety of your phone going off when the station's gone off air every 10 minutes. You won't have those random phone calls late at night from the PD because he wants you to do something on air tomorrow, but he doesn't have time to talk to you tomorrow, so he wants to talk to you now. All that sort of stuff is not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
You can work on yourself and your family and all that sort of stuff.
I'm looking forward to not like having to think as much for a little bit. Like I love radio. Like I absolutely love it. The industry is changing. Like, and it's funny. Like in the car the other day, I was listening to a podcast, and just Daniel Garbs. I'm joking.
I was going to say, no, was it Jake's?
Unlaced.
The Unlaced podcast.
So not the Up and Go.
No, not the Up and Go. I'm sure that will be back.
They are definitely coming in here from here onwards.
Yeah. So
stop my whining, or whatever it was called. What's that?
Stop it. I'm Greek. I've got an attitude.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah. But no, that's crazy. So radio consumption and how people access music is different now. Content is king. Like everybody wants to hear content. And I've always been of this belief of like, there's a saying that, I don't know if it's just a radio thing where they say, oh, we're not saving babies. Like that's the thing. If you go off, like we used to have this fucking thing called the 2-second rule, which is normally when you drop food off the table, but you have to play the song, wait 2 seconds, play the station ID. And I think we've spoken about this, and then they got into trouble. Mate, that was 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Like really?
That phone would ring.
Do people care?
No, is anyone driving their car going, fucking holy shit, Jarrod didn't push it for 3 seconds?
Yeah. So I think to have a bit of a breather will be quite good, because that means if I have a bit of a break, and then if radio is something I want to continue doing, I have a fresh perspective on it. It's just it's such a weird time. I'm grateful that we've got this, because this is, I need to talk about how I'm feeling, and it's all well and good to do it in front of, a camera by yourself. But with you guys, the more I talk about how I'm feeling, I think the better it is for me or for other people. I'm not dying, we're all dying in a way. But
Oh my god! Oh my god. Okay, let's go to the next caller. Let's try to make it funny again.
no, but, it's just it's a really weird time. I'm trying every day to address my feelings and
What's something that you're really gonna miss about it?
The people in the workplace I really love. I love meeting. And one of the nicest messages that I got was from a chick who still works at the radio station. Her name's Monica. And so in a wanky...
Lamb dogger.
The lamb dogger, lamb. Not dogger. The dogger.
No, that's just a nickname. Oh my god. Anyway,
okay.
Move forward.
So we've got this...
That's straight over my head.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No, her surname's Lamb. So if you put dogger next to lamb, but I said donger and that was an accident.
Oh my god.
So...
the old long donger.
No.
Surely Shank would have been an easier name.
The old Monica Shank.
The old Shanky.
So she messaged me and she said like the radio announcers at a lot of radio stations, some of them who have a lot of ego like to refer to themselves as talent. So they call themselves talent.
I'm the talent.
Yeah, I once had a breakfast announcer when I said, can you just clean up your stuff? He said, mate, the talent doesn't have to clean up after himself.
Oh my god, I know who that is.
So
I think I do too now.
there's been a couple, trust me. But she just said, you know what's really nice is that you came in and you remembered my name and you spoke to me. Like, and I pride myself in the fact that everybody who came into that building, I established a working relationship with, or a lot of them became my friends or really good friends like Andy. So that's what I'll miss in a way, but ultimately I won't miss it because our friendship is a connection outside of that building as well. That building doesn't define our relationship. No. There's some people that I can't wait to see the back of, and that's just life. But I won't go into names until we do the booze team, man.
Yeah. How about initials?
No, wait a minute.
What about rhyming slang?
No, okay, sorry, shark prickly. No, I'm joking, Bix. I love you.
That phone he was on.
I told him that he owed you $50. He's the biggest tight ass I've ever met.
Is he really?
I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to cash convert as a premiership cup. Wait, let me finish the question.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll talk about that story soon.
Yeah, I love the listeners, mate, and I love what I love about emceeing is that it's a real face-to-face connection with people, and you can see their emotions and their attitude change.
And that drives you as well. That drives your attitude, your energy.
It does, man.
Yeah.
But to hear people, and we take for granted because we're in a studio, same as what we're doing now with the great listeners that we have, that we put a smile on their faces, and that's something we should never, ever take for granted because it's our responsibility to do that. And it's so hard every day. Like, you have a fight with your missus, you're feeling sick, your fucking dog's died, you've just had the worst meeting ever for your boss. You have to go in there and press on air and talk like everything is perfect because your responsibility is to make everybody else happy no matter how you're feeling.
And that's draining.
Yeah, it's draining, but the listeners have been just outstanding. Like, and they are brilliant. Whether they have spoken on social media or whatever, they're awesome. And I make sure I get back to them all because they're making a choice to connect with me. So I want to connect with them because I'm just a fucking normal person. I'm a bit abnormal, but
well, no one's normal.
No,
maybe Andy.
G'day, guys.
He's definitely not normal.
G'day, Andy. Normal here. just really normal.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's all and it's like when like anything, for a couple of days people go, oh, that's shit, and then they just move on. And that's what you got to do. You just got to move on. So it's sad, but I think my sadness will turn into a real excitement of what's next.
And we've had that discussion where we sort of said early days, what's next for you? And then you made a very good point in that, there might have been opportunities out there for you without people knowing that you're available and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, I think I said this to one of the people at work that I reckon Nova Entertainment, and I'm pushing 5AA aside here because that really glad that I had that this year because the book ended two amazing like parts of my life, the start and 5AA journey. I reckon Nova in Adelaide United. I'll do it. Yeah, just do it. Fuck.
Yeah, so good.
Never get old that one.
Never.
Never.
I think they helped a decision, or they made a decision that I wasn't courageous enough to make.
Yep.
And that's like the reality of it.
Yeah.
And it's not saying I'm not courageous, but I probably wasn't courageous enough to make that decision. I'm really, really sad for Rosie Panetta because she's such a talent, and she's got a big future. She's just got to value herself and believe that, because that loss is someone else's gain. I'm just sad for Adelaide radio. I really am. I was there at the start. You know, when we first started Nova in 2004, we had a breakfast show, a morning show, an afternoon show, a local drive show, a local night show, a local overnight show. All weekends were local. So we're talking like all day. You know what we've got now? A 3-hour breakfast show.
Wow.
And that's it. We've got a couple of people who...
What does that though? Like what forces that to happen?
Cash. Right. But I've also got no ill feelings towards the people who are on the air. They're great people. Like Jamie and Mel, who are coming into Adelaide, are outstanding people, and they'll do their best to cater for the market. But we all know there's nothing like being in the market and living in the market. You know?
Especially over here.
Andy used this amazing example from a couple of years ago. Of,
Did I?
Yeah.
My face is like, what?
There was a radio announcer who, in his shift, because he wasn't in Adelaide, he's like, well, maybe you're going for a walk along Glenelg Beach this morning, or maybe you're not.
Hindley Street, Gouger Street, like they're all in there.
Yeah, the Barton Theatre.
The Barton. Yeah, that's right.
So that's where I am, boys.
Magnet theme oval.
I drove past. It's now Kia. I saw it the other day.
It's Magnum theme, guys. Don't you know about that? Yeah, right. Well, there you go. Hey, all good things for Ozcast Network. Let's just say that.
So I thought Andy was going to say, well, speaking of kissing.
Well, I got one more.
Yeah.
You said that you didn't get to say, like an on-air farewell without actually knowing it was your last time. Do you have any other regrets like that? Not sort of regrets from yourself, but just the way it all played out.
No, I don't. And I'm glad I don't have any regrets, because I think it's a really negative and it's not a progressive way to think. You got to think forwards, and instead of holding back. I've been fortunate to be there 16 years. What I've been fortunate to have, I've seen people leave the business poorly, and it's shown me the repercussions of that. So I've gone, awesome, I don't want to be that. I've had fantastic leaders. I've had some shit leaders that I've gone, awesome, here's the skill set from you that I want to absorb, and here's the skill set from you I don't want to absorb. That's the leader that I can be. The best leader that I've had in recent times is the 5AA one, Craig Munn, because he's a human being, mate. Like let's not burp together. Sorry, that's the emotions. It's the emotions.
The emotions now on the microphone.
I said in this video that he's a human being, and watching it back, you go, well, fuck yeah, mate, everyone's a fucking human being. But what I mean is, like, to have empathy and understanding and to speak to someone like a human. Like, if us three, if I wanted to have a tough conversation with you, I would need to make sure I have it differently than the one I have with Andy. It's like simply asking someone a question when you meet them, like, how would you like feedback? You tell me. Yeah. Do you need me to fucking directly be aggressive because that will motivate you, or do you need me to take you out, have a coffee, put my arm around you and say, here's your feedback? You can't just treat everybody with the same leadership style. So no, I don't have regrets. I'm actually, in a way, that thank you there was the only thank you I could have done.
Yeah.
It's not like what you're going to stop down the radio station and go, mate, here's a 10-minute thank you.
Rowie Bix, sorry guys, just going to say a few words here for a moment.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to do that.
And what I got to do yesterday is control the message, because I've got no shame in saying I was made redundant. A lot of people say they've resigned when they'll be sacked, when they were sacked. Yeah. That's their thing. Oh, yeah, I want to go explore different opportunities. Oh, yeah, just want to see what else is in the world. I've resigned. No, mate, you got sacked. Yeah. I think it's important to address that and acknowledge it, that my position at the company was made redundant. So therefore, I'm no longer required. So to say all those thank yous, then I got to do that in the way that I wanted to, in the forum that I wanted to, and I wanted to be like, I just wanted to be real and unedited. And if people look at me and go, what the fuck, mate, you're crying, it's just a job, blah, 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 that's fine. That's your prerogative to think that. But hopefully me sharing that with people, they can watch and go like, oh, I've been through this. I can see that, and it's important that we share that together. People follow like my journey. I talk about mental health and anxiety because I want people to know that it's okay to talk about this shit. And mate, it's funny, Maddie, you and I almost 12 months ago to the day, because it's 12 months ago to the day since Danny Frawley passed, and you and I sat here talking about it, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talked about mental health.
Yep.
So I think it's important that you talk about that more. We live in such a fickle world where I can't wait to go off social media for a week. What's our social media?
Well, why don't you tell us, Twitter boy?
At Best Team Men on Twitter.
And Instagram now.
And Instagram now.
Ooh, baby.
And we're on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best Team Men.
Oh, okay. So it's all at
Nice
Best
and
Team Men.
easy.
Yeah, so no regrets, mate. No regrets. I don't regret the way I handled any of this, which is a big thing.
From what you told me, I don't think you could handle it any better.
No.
Yeah, I hope not, because I don't want to I wasn't on our internal staff meeting today on the video call because I didn't want to put my thumbs up and smile and go, everything's awesome, guys. Yeah, redundancy's sick. I wanted to go, no, this is real and it's affecting me.
Yeah.
And this is me talking about it with like two great mates that I'm really glad we're doing this here because we have fun and we talk shit on a podcast, and this is a real one today, so why not?
True that.
Is that it? Have you enough?
I don't know. Let me think about it. No,
I got one more.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah. Do you reckon that Andy will eat this cupcake or not? Because it's been sitting here for an hour.
Can I tell you something?
Guys, I'm on a diet, all right? Just give me a...
I will tell you something.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we leave,
Yeah, he's going to throw it out, isn't he?
Andy will turn into the Dyson V8 animal.
and shelve it. No, I'm trying to keep off that sort of stuff because I put on the old COVID weight in the last 2 years. So,
2 years.
the old COVID weight.
The old 5-year COVID weight, guys.
So we will be back to normal. We didn't really know how this was going to go, and we've spoken for like
50 minutes.
almost an hour.
But like everything, we never plan it.
No, that's the best thing about it.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't plan anything. We're not. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say. There's not gonna be silence, and I'm not gonna say. I don't know. Say something nice. That's an in joke. Press box. No, that's not nice. Don't edit it though. No.
Hey, did you get any feedback from Tuggers on the cross?
Yeah, he loved it.
Did he?
Yeah, because he's a real jerk. But thank you to Sean Kemp, but I want to say Jace Kemp. He reached out yesterday on social media.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that. Still yet to hear from Dale Dustin Fletcher.
What would your headline be?
Okay, it's a good idea.
No, not that. Oh. That's not the line, is it? No. Oh my God.
Fuck. Dale. Okay, so Dale Dustin Fletcher, come up with a headline for this, please.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then we'll really find out if you listen.
I don't reckon he listens. No.
I have literally no idea what you guys are talking about
So
for the last 5
Dustin
minutes.
Fletcher played AFL. He played about 400.
Yes, I realise that. He was a fridge magnet on our fridge growing up. All right. Have you spent Christmases and stuff with him? No, because he lived in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
Can't travel for
What
Christmas.
number
No, not
was
for
Dustin
COVID.
Fletcher for Essendon?
It was like 31 or something, wasn't it?
It was 31? What about Jared Crouch for Sydney?
28.
Oh, my God! How did you do that?
Just,
What number's Buddy Franklin?
number one in my eyes.
Hey, Con and Lena, sorry we haven't mentioned you. I want to give you a quick special mention. So Eblin Subaru, they're the car that I've been driving for a long time. Had a great relationship with them.
I didn't want to ask about that.
Yep.
Do you have to hand the car back, just for people listening?
They were one of the first people and brands to get in touch with me and say, we're supporting you, mate. I don't know what that means. It might be, we're supporting you, mate, until tomorrow when you have to return your car.
Yeah, here's a sticker.
But,
No, but this is what I was saying to Yaz when we heard the news about your redundancies. Like, put all the fucking happy shit to the side. That's a massive
Not
loss
that
for the
happy.
business.
It's not that happy, mate.
No, but like when you say the workplace is great, whatever. Like that's a massive loss for them from a business point of view to lose you. Okay.
Yeah.
One great thing that has come out of this for you is your relationships the relationship building that you've done, especially over the last 5 to 7 years, has been spectacular. And as Port Adelaide Footy Club wrote on your Instagram yesterday, fucking forgot it. But they said something like we'll always be there for you.
Yeah,
It was something like that.
yeah.
And that is so true.
I think you're talking about Adelaide United. He said you can always come to our house.
Well, no, it was PAFC. So,
Okay, Prince Alfred.
yeah, the Prince
Football
Alfred
no,
football colleagues. But yeah, like the relationships you have with these massive brands, massive businesses that, you know, I can't get a hold of. You know, Maddie can't get a hold of. Nah. But like, I'm just saying, like your relationships.
Yeah, well, they've been really supportive
fantastic.
of me and Darren and the team there, whatever.
And I've been down there with you, and Evelyn Subaru are fantastic.
They are. And you know what? Darren messaged me yesterday to say how much he loves Con and Lena.
Really? That's
He
amazing.
does, yeah, he said they are awesome people. So Con and Lena. And the other thing I wanted to say, that I put this on the Twitter, but for people who don't have Twitter, so Con, when I saw him and I gave him a hug, like the nicest guy in the, does that mean we're done?
Yeah, we should wrap up.
Are we done?
The SD card's filling right up.
Okay, so really quickly, Con said he bought a 6-pack of Shifty Lizard and he bought some socks as well.
That's
so
incredible.
That's it. Thank you very much. Guys, this has been ages, so
good.
Let's go back to normal next round, yeah?
Fantastic.
Done.
Love
good
you,
to have
boys.
you here.
Thank you for today. I've needed today.
You're welcome.
Oh, don't forget to edit the start.
All right. Thank you, Jarrod, for that. It was fantastic. And good to see you boys. And we'll see you very shortly.
Awesome.